What's up guys, Sean here, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you guys an update on the PrintSharpCo center clamp adapter for the TSPROF KADET Pro, and it also is compatible with the KO3. So my buddy John has sent me two updated versions of the center clamp adapter. Now, there was nothing wrong with this center clamp adapter, the first version that he sent me, and I've used it to sharpen several knives now, probably, I don't know, 10, at least 10, maybe 10 to 15 knives. All right, and no issues. My only suggestions I had for him was to possibly increase the fill percentage on this piece, because there's a very slight amount of flex. I mean, most of you would probably not even notice it. It wouldn't make a difference in sharpening for you. So it was never a problem. But because of how particular I am and the level of precision that I sharpen at, and how closely I'm paying attention to, you know, exactly what I'm doing, I noticed that I was getting some like facets in the edge bevel, and it wasn't, you know, just all one even consistent scratch pattern. So I'm really looking forward to testing out these two, because this was definitely a better alternative than having them both clamped on the side, which that actually caused me problems, having both the clamps off to one side. And you know, because that doesn't allow you to get the blade completely centered with this pivot point. And for a guided system, that's really important if you want to avoid any issues with the profile. So right here I have two different materials. This is the standard production version right here, which is made out of PLA, and I believe he used a 100% fill on this guy right here. If not 100%, I know he at least increased it, and it's also a different design compared to this guy right here. So the differences he made were all intended to increase the rigidness and stiffness and durability, longevity, all that good stuff. So I'm going to be testing this out. And this one right here is made out of a new material that he's experimenting around with called PETG, P-E-T-G. And this is supposed to be even stronger. This is also the updated version. So I'm going to be taking off this guy right here and installing one of my new updated versions. Probably going to test out this one right here first, so I can let you guys know how it goes, and you know, make sure there's no issues, which I'm fairly confident I'm not going to run into any issues. But just because this is the one that is currently available for sale on he has an Etsy store, which is Linktree PrintSharpCo. All right. And there's some tips and tricks he has right here. Anyway, he does include the screws that mount this to the adapter, and then your thumb screws that come with your TSPROF, those actually screw into there. So you mount it with the existing screws plus the two 4mm hex that he includes. So your clamp screws for your TSPROF clamps, use the 4mm hex. So everything is 4mm hex besides the thumb screws. So that's really cool too. And yeah, really good stuff. And just so you know, guys, I don't show just any products on this channel, okay? This isn't something that John, you know, asked me if he could send me and blah, blah, blah. No. I saw he had made a post in a sharpening group on Facebook, and I commented and said, you know, I need one of those ASAP, because I was getting tired of the issues I was having with having my clamps mounted off to one side. I could make do with it for the most part, but there was a couple instances that I had issues that really couldn't be resolved without moving the blade to the center of the system. And it's just, this is the ideal way, in my opinion. It's what I'm used to, you know, especially coming off of the KME, which is a system that I pretty much have mastered. And then before that, it was the Lansky, which they all evolve around, you know, the blade being mounted in the center of the system, centered with the guide rod and the pivot point. So all the little tips and tricks that I know and have done videos on and explained all throughout this channel have all been based off of the blade being mounted centered with the guided system. So I can't really see any reason why I would want to have it any other way. I think this is definitely the way to go. And it, at least for me, because it's what I know. So anyways, I'm going to be testing out this one first, because this is the one that is readily available that you guys can pick up if you're interested. And I do highly recommend these. And I want to give a big thank you to John for sending me all this stuff to test out. He told me, you know, thank you for your feedback and everything, which my feedback was kind of the reason that he did the version 2 of the clamp. But, you know, the way I see it, he's helping me out just as much as I'm helping him. And that's the way I think it should be, you know. I'm all about mutual help, mutual benefits. You help me, I help you. That's how we have to be. If everybody was like that, the world would be so much of a better place. We all stand to gain when we help each other. So he knows that money has been tight for me and everything. And he also knows that I have, you know, a decent following of people that are into knife sharpening, because a lot of my videos are focused around sharpening. So I guess he saw this as something that was mutually beneficial, could help me out, because this is a part that I needed, and he created a solution, and I was able to offer him the feedback, things that I noticed that the average person might not be quite as particular as I am, or they might not have the same needs or desires that I'm looking for. So when I'm evaluating something, I'm evaluating it from a standpoint of, do I think this product is good enough for professional use? And that's another one of the ideas that I kicked to him, was possibly making a standard version, which is going to do just fine. It's technically, it is good enough for professional use, but also to offer a pro version if there was, you know, a big enough difference in the cost to produce the clamps between this material and this material, and also the increased fill rates and all that stuff, if it was that much more work or expense to do the improved version, then he could offer a standard and a pro version at an additional cost, you know, to make it worth it for everybody. But you know, just based off of my experience with the version 1, which was made with the PLA, nothing, no fancy material. I think he said 75% or 80% fill rate. So this new one, as you can see, a little bit beefier, and it has a higher fill rate. And this is available as we speak. So definitely recommend. John is an awesome guy. And like I said, he's helping me out, so I want to help him out. And it's also beneficial to you guys, you know, and that's the whole other thing. I want to recommend stuff that's going to help you guys out too. You know, I'm always looking for solutions to problems. That's the way my brain is wired. I'm always I don't even have to try to think about it. It's just how my brain runs. So I'm always analyzing things and thinking of, you know, how something could be improved. Now on the tips paper right there, he states you do not want to over tighten these. Just want to get these snugged up with finger tight. Definitely don't want to crank them on with a wrench or anything. Let's see. Tighten these down. See if I can feel any flex. See if I can feel any difference right off the bat. Yeah, I would say that's definitely a freaking improvement. Yeah, I'm flexing the actual steel clamp itself, or it might be milled aluminum, whatever it is. I'm flexing that before there's any type of flex to that. So massive improvement there. Massive improvement. Awesome. Good stuff. Really excited to use this. Once again, thank you, John. I appreciate the opportunity to test this stuff out. But yeah, one more thing. He also sent me this guy right here. This is a Convex guide rod adapter thingy-mabobber. Now, I'm not really into convex edges, so I don't know when I'm going to be trying this, but for John's sake, I will make an effort to attempt to use this and give him my thoughts on it, because, you know, he was kind enough to send this stuff to me. But personally, I just put a V grind on everything. I don't really mess around with convex edges. You know, the way it makes sense in my head, I find V grind edges to be superior. The only thing that you would stand to benefit from a convex edge is possibly some strength or toughness, but that's why we have super steels and good heat treats and, you know, the blade geometry that the maker decides to go with. All those things should be calculated decisions to make that knife perform and function as intended. So, you know, to get the best performance out of it, once it is in the hands of the user, I'd prefer a lower angle V-grind edge between, you know, 15 to 20 degrees per side. Most of my edges are between 15 and 17, but, you know, that's where I see the best performance personally. And, you know, I don't have any issues with strength or toughness of the edge with chipping or rolling or anything like that, because I don't use these knives for tasks that they're not intended for. Sure, they could probably handle some extracurricular tasks, or however you want to say it, but I use them for cutting tasks, regular day-to-day cutting tasks, which mostly consist of cardboard and packaging and plastics and, you know, anything that you would cut with a knife. So, you know, I'm not using these as pry bars and screwdrivers. That's not what they're intended for. And I don't have any issues. So that's why I've never really gone into the whole convex edge thing. It's just not for me, but nonetheless, it's a nice, it would be a nice capability or added option to have that I could offer to the clients who did want that. Obviously, you know, based off my opinion, it's not something that I would suggest or recommend, but it's still good to be able to offer that for the people who do prefer that. So I will definitely be making an effort to try this out as soon as the opportunity arises. In the meantime, I'm going to be using these center clamp adapters, and I have been extremely happy with them so far. So if you're looking for an affordable solution to get your TSPROF clamps centered side by side, go check out my buddy JON'S adapters. PrintSharpCo is the name he decided to go with, and this is where you can find them, guys. So there you have it. So hope that helps. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. Stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.